Hey everyone, Tendra here. Blizzard put up a roadmap for 2024. So I'm going to take a look at it, read what they have to say, then take a look at the live game roadmap. So let's get rolling on it. It's been an incredible year for the WoW team. We are endlessly grateful to our community for being in our world as we grow, change, experiment, and deliver as much magic and fun as possible. This time last year, I posted our first roadmap. I'm so thankful to our team for seeing it become real and then some. We know that promising anything is a far distant second to actually delivering on that promise. With that said, we continue to learn and evolve with each release and announcement this year, and we are fully focused on listening and responding to you and building for a stronger future in Azeroth for us all. Listing everything we did this year is huge. 6 Dragonflight content updates, Wrath content updates, and the return of the Icecrown Citadel Raid Dungeon, Classic Hardcore launch, BlizzCon 2023, an incredible race to World First in Dragonflight Season 3, and just recently, Classic Season of Discovery. This year has been one to remember, and we want to keep the momentum going. Now it's time to share a look ahead into 2024. In modern World of Warcraft, you're going to see 3 more content updates for Dragonflight arriving before World of Warcraft The War Within releases next year. In these updates, we'll be wrapping up our story for this expansion and laying the foundation for our next one. Dragonflight Season 4 will revisit Dragonflight's dungeons and raids along with outdoor content, featuring updated rewards and a few new twists. Then in spring-summer, we'll ask for your feedback when the War Within expansion alpha and beta tests drop. We will continue to communicate details, dates, and more goodness as we get closer to the content updates. Just like this year. Well, most of it anyways. We'll have some surprises in store too. Coming up next in January, we have the Seeds of Renewal content update on tap. And we're currently keeping an eye on your feedback on the live public test realms, the PTR, for this update. In WoW Classic, we have updates coming in Classic Hardcore with self-found support in February, as a new way to challenge players and to add a little more hardcore into your hardcore. Lokto Ogar will have more phases releasing in Season of Discovery next year as your adventure continues, and of course, Cataclysm Classic is right around the corner in the first half of next year. We remain committed to delivering all flavors of World of Warcraft, so no matter how you play, you won't have to look far ahead to know something is right around the corner for you. Above all, we are thankful for the gift of working on World of Warcraft with you and embracing a time of evolution. For us all on the WoW team, please have a happy, healthy holiday and a peaceful new year. We remain dedicated to continuing this amazing journey alongside you all. Holly Longdale, Executive Producer. So looking at the roadmap, the first thing we have coming up is the Seeds of Renewal, 10.2.5. We know this is coming out sometime in early January, and the first thing we'll get with this is the Dragon Isle epilogues. Basically, we're going to finish up any little storylines before we get ready to push into the War Within. Next up, we're going to get the Reclamation of Gilneas. This is kind of neat, and I know a lot of players for a long time have been asking for Gilneas as a capital city. I think the only real interaction I've ever had in Gilneas is when I was leveling my Worgen the first time. Besides that, I don't really have a lot of connection to this place, but if it's another capital city, I'll take it. Next up, we're getting Dragon Riding Worldwide. So don't confuse this with Dynamic Flying overall. This will be just for the Dragonflight mounts. Dynamic Flying will come along a little later. We're also getting follower dungeons. I think these are kind of neat, and they're only going to be available in normal mode dungeons, so I don't see a big harm in them. If I was Blizzard, I actually would have took this up to heroic level dungeons. They could have used this to fill in slots when tanks or healers are not as abundant, but let's take it at normal and see how it works from there. The next thing we're getting is Azerothian Archives. These look kind of neat, and they give a lot of cosmetic rewards, so they sound like they'll be a nice addition to the game. And finally, we have the Outland Cup. This is just going to be like the Kalimdor Cup and the Eastern Kingdom Cups that we already had. So if you enjoy dragon flying, these are probably going to be right up your alley. And finally, we have a Hearthstone Anniversary event. There's not a lot of information out on this, but I imagine you're going to have to do some type of stuff with Hearthstone. Our next patch will be 10.2.6, and if Blizzard keeps on an 8-week schedule with these, we should see this at the beginning of March. As of right now, we don't have a lot of information with this. They just put a skull and crossbones on here, and if you look online, theories are flying all over the place. But at this point, it's all just theories, so we'll just have to wait and see what it is. And if I get to throw my guess in here, I'm gonna say it's some type of player housing, or at least that's what I would like to think it is. But with 10.2.6, we'll see Season 4. These are going to give us our Dragonflight raids revisited, so there'll probably be a little reward like the Slime Saber. We're going to have a new PvP season starting, we're going to have a new Mythic Plus season starting, and we're going to see new open world rewards. And if you do participate in all of this, I can see it being a pretty full schedule until the War Within releases. And if that isn't enough for you, and you're lucky enough, you may just get an alpha invite. I've personally never been invited to an alpha, but I'd sure take one. Our next patch should hit in May, and that will be 10.2.7, the Dark Heart. This is going to give us a few new things to do. First off, it's going to give us time-running Pandemonium. I've seen a lot of people online thinking this may lead back to challenge mode dungeons, and I've seen a few people say that maybe they're bringing back the scenarios from Mist of Pandaria. I know they really haven't done anything to time walking in a long time. Why they're calling it time running, I'm not sure. I don't think it'll be challenge modes, because challenge modes evolved into Mythic Pluses. To me, bringing them back just doesn't make a lot of sense, but it's clear Blizzard has some type of plan, so we'll just have to wait to see what it is. Next we have Harbinger quests, and I haven't seen anything really about this. I would assume, just like the Harbinger quests from past expansions, this will introduce us to characters that are going to be associated with the War Within expansion. And now we have the Troll and Draenei Heritage Armor. I see a lot of excitement online about the Troll, and not so much about the Draenei. I just know they took a break from doing heritage armors for quite a long time, and I'm glad to see they're doing them again. And I really hope they do a great job on the Draenei. They are one of my favorite characters in game. And last but not least, we're getting a new holiday event. What this may be, it's hard to say. We do know Mother's Day falls in that area, Memorial Day, and World Turtle Day. And to me, World Turtle Day sounds like it would go really well with the Pandarians, but I'm just taking a shot in the dark, so we'll just have to wait and see to be sure. So going by the roadmap, shortly after 10.2.7 drops, we should see the beta open up. At that time, we'll be able to get our first feel for the War Within. The next thing we'll have is our War Within pre-patch. That'll be 11.0.1, and I'm expecting this to hit in July. With this, we're going to get a world event. And personally, with these world events, they're usually about 4 weeks, and they always seem pretty short. So if they gave this one 8 weeks, I would not complain at all. And I think there's a lot of people out there like me that would like to see the world event go a little longer. And I do know for sure that the Dragonflight event was still going pretty strong when it ended. Another thing we'll see come along with the pre-patch is warbands. These are going to be amazing. I have basically given up on professions because I got so tired of Mal and Mats around. Now we're going to have a bank that we can go into on any character and put Mats in and take them out at will. That's just going to be one of the best features they've added to the game in years. Our next thing we're going to get is Dynamic Flight. This is it right here. This is where you can pull just about any mount out, and as long as they've updated it, you'll be able to use it the same way you use your dragon riding mount. And last but not least is the guild updates. I have no idea what these are supposed to be. I haven't heard any mention of them, but I'd kind of like to get back into the achievement system for guilds. The little store they used to have for the guilds was kind of neat, and it would be nice to see your guild rep actually matter again. Okay, here we go. It's expansion time. I'm going to say this is going to be early September. And the reason I'm saying early September is because if we're going to have 8 weeks in between the expansion release and the first patch, which is going to include the 20th anniversary event, then we have to be early September. Just like every other expansion, we're going to get a campaign story. These are usually pretty fun the first few times through. Then we're going to get into delves. We know a little bit about these. Sometimes they'll be solve the puzzle, sometimes they'll be combat orientated. Then we're going to get hero talents. Wallhead has put up a few good articles about the hero talents. They've even previewed a few of the talent trees. Then we're going to get the Earthen Allied race. And I'm not sure about you, but I usually make one of each new race, so I already have my name stuck away. We're going to get a few expansion staples. We're going to get 4 new zones, 8 new dungeons, a new raid, and a new PvP season. It wouldn't be a new expansion if we didn't get these things. And finally, we're going to get an unnamed War Within content update. That'll be 11.0.5. The only thing we know about this so far is it's going to give us more story and more quests. It will give us new content and system updates also. What we do know for sure is this will be out before the 20th anniversary event hits. So that will be the beginning of November, which makes me think the expansion will be released in September. But hey, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. You can click on subscribe. Thanks for coming by and watching it. I'm going to send a hi out to my best friend, and you all take care.